All right, good afternoon, traders. Hopefully, everyone is having a great weekend. Before I get to the show, I really do want to thank all my subscribers. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. Now, if you're not a subscriber and you happen to be watching the show, go ahead and do so. I really do think you're going to get a lot of valuable information from my technical analysis. All right, with that, as you know, today is Sunday. We are going to go over the SPY, check out some key technical levels, and then we are going to give you those three stocks that I think are technically setting up real nicely to move higher in the upcoming week. All right, with that, let's get right into the SPY. Okay, guys. So as you know, last week we made that nice 52-week high in the S&P. Since then, we did kind of gap down, gap down. We tried to rally back here on Thursday, only to kind of find some resistance in that 10 SMA right there. And then on Friday, we gapped down. We tried to rally at the end of the day, but it was just a constant level, a ton of selling all throughout the day, right? So now what going forward? Well, I'm a little concerned now. It's so funny how what 5 trading days really makes a big difference on the charts. I mean, look, I'm extremely bullish overall. By the end of the year, I'm sure we're going to be higher than we are now. It's just that I really do think there's a couple of three key drivers that I think we're going to see a little bit of a headwind into the market going forward here. And I'll explain that a little bit later. But initially what I want to say, okay, we made that 52-week high, we gapped, tried to rally, failed, we touched this 50-day moving average. So now what? So anyone who does watch the show, I usually use these moving averages, but in order to kind of make a little bit more detailed, prediction, for lack of a better word, on where the market's going, I had to put this Fibonacci retracement down here. Now, the Fibonacci retracement are, it's a mathematical equation based on certain pullbacks. It's, historically has been a very useful tool in predicting where certain key levels are. So this is why I'm using that analysis for today, right? So after making that 52-week high, we hit this 50-day moving average. Now, where's it going? Well, I think there is going to be a lot more selling going on. So if you look at the high from back here in September 2nd, we moved back down about 10.5%. Okay, so we had moved from basically 358 all the way down to 320, which is about a 10.5% retracement. Now, if we were to do that same 10.5 retracement from that 385, puts us right down here at this retracement of that Fibonacci first level of support at 346. So again, I really do think we are going to go see at some point hit this 346 area in the S&P. Okay, and it only makes sense. We got a lot of uncertainty going into the market. I mean, we have three possible headwinds that I think that are causing this pullback and what we're seeing here, this weakness in the overall market. First one I'm going to say is I really do think we're just locking in gains, right? We made such big gains from mid-March all the way to the end of the year. Now I think traders are saying, you know what, let me lock in these gains. They waited till after Jan 1. This way they can defer those taxes going into 2022. So I think now it's early enough in the year where if they start selling, they wait that 30, 40 days, for their washout, that washout period, 30-day that you need to, before you get back into certain names. So I think this is a smart time for people to start taking some chips off the table. Now, secondly, I really do think there's, all these new strains that they're constantly talking about on TV, about the UK strain, the South African strain, the Brazilian strain, and how they might hit the US. And I think that uncertainty alone might cause these markets to want to pull back, and I think that's part of it. And then lastly, and probably the most innocuous one is the whole GameStop thing, right? And all these hedge funds that are getting imploded, what's going on, how deep is that, those issues? Not so much on, how much money they've lost, because in reality, it's not that much money, 3, 4, 5 billion for a major hedge fund or collectively on, in the market. I think it's more, are there regulations going to come out of this, right? Because the Robinhood trading and the stopping of that, and and maybe hedge funds being over leveraged. So I think the market's really there's really three key drivers that's going to cause us to really pull back, and I really do think that 10.5% retracement isn't really too bad. So again, going back down to this 346.07, which is that first Fibonacci retracement from that high of 385 is extremely possible, and probably, it's probably going to happen. Okay, so again, watch those key those key levels right there. Tomorrow we may see this dead cat bounce. We'll probably try to hit that midpoint or 10 SMA. And in the upcoming days or weeks, it'll give those traders that confidence. Oh, we're back in this uptrend. But I'll tell you, if we don't get back above this 10 SMA right here in the upcoming week, or early next week, I really do think we are going to go lower and see that 346 in the SPY. All right, guys. That's it on the SPY. Hopefully I gave you a little bit more in-depth analysis, and let's continue on to the three stocks that I think that are still going to are poised to move higher. But I am going to give you some really detailed outs in this. Okay, so even if you get long, I'm going to show you some really key levels that if we're wrong, we know we're wrong, and we're going to get out quickly. Okay, so the first one's going to be APHA. Been a fan of this one. If anybody who does watch the show, I am a big fan of Tilray. I went ahead and sold all my Tilray and got into APHA. You're getting APHA at a discount right now. It gets a little more, it gets deeper. It's on the revert on that merger that they're doing, but I really do think APHA is in a good spot right now. So if you look at Friday's action in APHA, we did break down right below this 10 SMA. I mean, we've had such a beautiful run in APHA and all the major pot stocks, and now we've pulled back. We've broken below this 10 SMA. But I want to show you is the 513 EMA, which is an extremely strong chart to look at. And if you take a look, we are very, very close to that 13 EMA right here. So again, for Monday, see if this goes down a little bit right below that 12. It has to hold this 13 EMA. Ever since we've made this beautiful run since early January, this 13 EMA has held really nicely. So I see this as a major level of support. Now, if we do gap or go below that 1189, let's call it 1175 to be more accurate, you know what? Wait, be very, very patient, and see if you could get these APHA down here at some point in that high 11 mark, because that's where that midpoint Bollinger Band eventually will hit, and I think that price can meet there very, very quickly. So again, if we don't hold that area just under 12 bucks, be very patient, and then find some better trade location down here at that midpoint Bollinger Band. So how to play it tomorrow, see how we gap, watch that first 30-minute candle, that first 30-minute time frame. If we can continue to grind higher after that 30-minute, there's a good probability to get into the stock, and then we can continue going higher again. But if we gap down, don't do anything. Wait for better trade location. Okay, that is APHA, APHA. Next stock in the queue is going to be PLL. This one has had a major run. Take a look at this. It's gone parabolic. We had some nice upgrades right near at the high, went all the way to 66.70. Came back down. Now we're here at that 10 SMA right here. Is really good. So we have what I want to show you. We did breach that 10 SMA right here, but we're not. It's not too bad below that 10 SMA right here. But what I want to show you again is that 513 EMA chart. Let's bring this up real quickly. And if you could take a look at that 513 EMA, where are we? Right here at that 13 EMA, which happens to be at 48.66, right? So this is a nice pullback of about 20-25% since the high. We're right here at that 13 EMA. So now you're seeing buyers stepping in and probably going to base right here. So how to play this? Again, watch that first 30-minute candle. See how we gap. If we gap lower, do not touch this, especially if we gap below this 13 EMA. Now, if we were to gap flat to a little higher, watch how that first 30-minute time frame happens. If we can get above that first 30-minute time frame, then be a buyer, and then clearly use that 48.60 as your stop. Any price or any close below that 48.60 is a sell, in my opinion. Now, if we start gapping below, and and you're still interested in the name, where's it going to go? Well, again, just like APHA, that first target is going to be this midpoint Bollinger Band, which happens to be all the way down here at 42.40. So watch this. It's not going to go straight down, but this is going to continue to go up as time goes out. So there's going to be better trade location on this one. So again, for Monday. Watch how we open. If we do take out that first 30-minute time frame on the upside, be a buyer, and then use that 13 EMA of 48.60 as your stop price. All right, last stock on the list is going to be MARA. Here we go. Here's another one that's had an incredible run. Topped out here in early January. It's pulled back right here to this midpoint Bollinger Band. It has found a little bit of strength here of recent days, and then it did gap up here on Friday, pulled back all the way right here perfectly at this midpoint Bollinger Band and 10 SMA right here, which happens to be at 1965. So there's clearly a lot of support right there at 1965. That's going to be your first level of support come up on Monday. But I do want to show you again on this 513 EMA chart, which is also extremely important, that 5 EMA just recently crossed that 13 EMA, so which is the beginning, if you will, of an uptrend, right? That's the beginning of an uptrend right there. So, but what needs to happen is that 13 EMA has to hold of 1933. So again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. On Monday, watch the open. If we gap below that 1933, do not buy. Right now, if we gap up over 6, 7, 8%, do not buy that either. You're only chasing it. Wait to see if we can pull back in. But now, if that first 30-minute candle gets taken out on the upside, go ahead and be a buyer. It's going to show a lot of strength, and then clearly use that 1965, which is that 10 SMA and that midpoint Bollinger Band confluence level right there. That's going to be a lot of support, and then clearly down here at that 1950 to the 1930. So there's going to be a lot of support right there between, I want to call it 19 and a quarter, all the way up to 1975. It did close at 2074. So let's see how we open, buy on some strength, and then clearly use this any close below 1935, 1925 as your stop price. Okay, that is MARA. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. I am excited about the upcoming week. It's a little scary, there's a lot of things that are, out there that can really push us back. But again, remember, keep some capital, always a little capital to the side. There's going to be some buying opportunities, I think, in my opinion. So make sure you're ready for those times that happen. All right, again, guys, my name is Eric. Thank you again to all my subscribers. I have 344, I think, right now. I really do appreciate all you guys. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a message down below. I'll be more than happy to get back to with an answer to you right away. All right, have a great remainder of the weekend. By the way, if you're not a subscriber and you happen to be watching the show, go ahead and do so. I really do think you're going to get a lot of valuable information from my technical setups. All right, have a great weekend, remainder of the weekend. We will see you tomorrow after the close. And remember, trade smart and be safe.